What happens when the world is already on edge? When tensions in the Middle East are rising, and the leader of the world's most powerful nation begins making statements that leave everyone confused? Over the past few days, the political world has been shaken by a series of unusual press conferences, controversial claims, and surprising social media posts from Donald Trump. From comments about war with Iran, to contradictions in the same speech, to claims about conversations with past presidents. People across the world are asking the same question: what exactly is going on? Today, we're going to break down everything: the statements, the reactions, and why the situation is raising serious concerns internationally. The Iran conflict backdrop. To understand the controversy, we first need to understand the bigger picture. The United States and Iran have had a tense relationship for decades, but recent military actions have pushed the situation to a new level. At the center of the global concern is one of the most important waterways in the world, the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow passage connects the Persian Gulf to global shipping routes, and nearly 20% of the world's oil supply passes through it every day. If conflict spreads in that region, it could affect global oil prices, shipping routes, international trade, and the stability of the entire Middle East. So when military tensions escalate there, the entire world pays attention. And that's exactly what is happening right now. Press conference moments that raised eyebrows. During several recent press briefings, President Trump made statements that quickly spread across social media. One moment in particular stood out. While speaking about political leadership in the United States, Trump appeared to refer to California Governor Gavin Newsom in a confusing way, calling him president while criticizing him. Critics quickly pointed out the unusual phrasing, and clips from the press conference began circulating online. But that was just the beginning. Throughout the same briefing, Trump made statements that seemed to contradict each other within minutes. At one point, he said, "We don't need help from anyone." But shortly afterward, he suggested that allies might need to assist the United States in protecting important shipping routes. These rapid shifts in messaging sparked debate. Supporters argued it was strategic communication. Critics argued it created confusion during a sensitive global situation. Claims about former presidents. Another moment that caught the media's attention involved a claim about conversations with past presidents. Trump told reporters that a former president had privately praised his actions regarding Iran. However, when journalists asked for clarification, no name was provided. This led reporters to reach out to representatives for several former presidents, including Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Joe Biden. According to multiple reports, aides for those leaders stated that they had no record of recent conversations about the Iran conflict. That response only fueled more speculation online. Was it a misunderstanding? A private conversation that wasn't documented? Or simply political rhetoric? Social media posts add to the mystery. At the same time the military situation was unfolding, Trump's social media activity also drew attention. Late at night, he posted about topics that seemed unrelated to the conflict, including sports results and international political ideas. One post mentioned a baseball championship result involving Venezuela. Another discussed the idea of territorial expansion involving places like Greenland. Critics questioned the timing of those posts, suggesting that focus should remain on the geopolitical crisis. Supporters argued that leaders often communicate about multiple topics at once. But regardless of opinion, the posts quickly went viral and became a major part of the online conversation. International reaction. While American media debated the statements, leaders in other countries were also responding. Iranian officials released messages warning that military conflicts cannot be decided through public statements or social media posts. They emphasized that real outcomes are determined on the battlefield and through diplomacy. Meanwhile, U.S. allies across Europe and Asia have been watching carefully. Many countries depend heavily on the shipping routes through the Persian Gulf, meaning any disruption could impact global energy supplies. As a result, international leaders are calling for restraint and diplomatic solutions. The larger question now facing the world is simple: where does this situation go next? Some analysts believe the aggressive rhetoric is part of a negotiation strategy designed to pressure Iran. Others worry that miscommunication and rising tensions could lead to unintended escalation. History has shown that global conflicts can sometimes grow quickly once military actions begin, which is why many experts say careful communication and diplomacy are more important than ever right now. Call to action. One thing is clear. The world is watching closely. Every statement from Washington, every response from Tehran, every move in the Strait of Hormuz could influence what happens next. Will tensions cool down through diplomacy? Or will the conflict expand into something much larger? Only time will tell. But what do you think? Do you believe the situation will calm down? Or are we heading toward a bigger global crisis? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dive analysis on global politics and breaking stories, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next update could change everything. Now let's talk about the moments that really got people talking. During a recent press conference, Donald Trump made a series of statements that quickly went viral, not just because of what he said, but how he said it. At one point, while criticizing California Governor Gavin Newsom, Trump appeared to refer to him as president instead of governor. Now, this might sound like a small slip, but in a high-stakes geopolitical moment during a discussion about war, even small wording mistakes can raise big questions. Clips of this moment spread rapidly across social media. People replayed it, analyzed it, debated it. Some viewers brushed it off as sarcasm or mockery. Others saw it as confusing and unusual, shifting statements. But that wasn't the only moment that stood out. What really caught attention was how quickly the messaging seemed to change. In the same press conference, within a very short time, two completely different tones appeared. First, a strong and confident statement. We don't need help from anyone. A message of independence, strength, control. But then, not long after, another statement, suggesting that allies might need to step in and help protect key regions like the Strait of Hormuz. Now, this created a contradiction, because on one hand, the message was, we are strong, we stand alone, and on the other, we may need support. This back and forth left many people asking, is this a strategic shift, or is the messaging unclear? Why this matters? In normal situations, small contradictions might not matter, but during a potential international conflict, every word matters. Because allies listen carefully, opponents analyze every statement, markets react instantly. Even a slight inconsistency can create uncertainty, hesitation, or misinterpretation. And in global politics, misinterpretation can be dangerous.